Dog shit, Andy?
Nah, that's not dog shit. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be working on our spark plugs for our 2011 Ford Mustang. Let's get it. Alrighty, guys, here we have is our 2011 Ford Mustang, and it is a V6, meaning there is 6 cylinders, so we're going to have 6 spark plugs. 3 on this side and 3 on the other side because it's a V configuration engine. So in order to do the first 3, it'll be super easy. But to do the other 3, we're going to have to remove our intake. And that means if you're removing the intake, you might as well change your intake gasket. Now, I didn't get an intake gasket because I totally forgot to buy one. But we can do that another time. It's not really going to be anything detrimental. If there is a leak, you're going to probably get high idle because you're losing vacuum somewhere. But with that being said, let's just get this done. Let's work on the easy side first, and then we'll work on taking off our intake. So here are the things that we will need. So first, you're going to need your spark plugs, and I went with Iridiums. The good thing about Iridium spark plugs is you never have to gap them because they come already pre-gapped. So don't try to gap them because you can damage them. The next thing we'll need is a 5/8 spark plug socket, an extension, and a 3/8 drive ratchet. And finally, we're going to need a 15/16 socket with a little extension and a 1/4 inch drive. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to use our 5/16 socket to remove our bolt here. Remove that. It came off nice and easy. We're going to screw it off and remove our coil pack. Don't forget to unplug this as well. You might have to pull and press in. So let's pull this up. It pulled up. And then we press in and pop our connector off. Then we remove our bolt. Put that off to the side so we don't lose it. With that removed, you pop your coil pack out. And look how nice and dry that is. Now, if you did see oil on any of your coil packs, just remember that this is an indication that you're going to need to replace your valve cover gasket, which is seated here. So if oil ever gets in these, valve cover gasket time. Remember that. Now, deep down in this layer, you don't want dirt to go in here because it can damage up your motor. But there is where our spark plug lies. So we're going to use our 5/8 socket and remove that right now. So let us put our socket in here, get a good bite, and release and break it loose. Now here is our spark plug, and it does smell a little bit like oil. So if yours smells like oil, there are a few things that it can be. Piston rings, valve stem seals, or the PCV valve, which is located right here. And during this service, I will also be replacing that. Probably not in this video, but in another video. So let us continue with replacing this, and then we'll replace that and see how it runs after. I doubt it's my piston rings because it doesn't burn oil. I don't see any oil being burned. The oil's always there. And I doubt it's my valve stem seals as well, but you never know. So let's check and let's see. Alrighty, so here is our brand new NGK Iridium spark plug. Here is a cover to protect the anode so it doesn't get damaged, but you need to remove that. Just be careful that you don't damage the tip. Remember, these come pre-gapped, so you don't need to pre-gap these. Remove the old one off, put the new one on, and let's get ready to install it. Remember, don't drop this into the engine. Take your time and place it in. If you can get one of these spark plug sockets with the little rubber inside so they actually hold it in place so it doesn't fall off. So let's go. Now, reinstalling these are very simple and super easy. It's basically the opposite of removing the older one. So just do the reversal of what you did to remove it. We're gonna take our time and put this sucker right in there. Go up in there. Nice and gentle. There we go. And now we are going to thread it in. Be careful. Don't ever put this in with a gun. Always take your time, thread it in by hand first, and then use a ratchet and snug it up very tight, or get a torque wrench, find your proper torque spec, and torque it down to manufacturer specifications. Give it a nice little snug. There you go. It's nice and in. Wiggle it loose, and there you have it. Now that we got that all snug in, you want to take your coil pack, put it right back in there, like so. Make sure you line it up with where your bolt's supposed to go. Take your bolt, get it hand started. Grab your ratchet, make sure it's on, and give it a little snug right there. Be careful, you don't want to crack your plastic valve cover. Everything is plastic nowadays. Put that over there. Make sure you plug him back in. And here for it to snap, and then press that tab in, and now it's locked into place. Now let's do the others. Now let me work on removing the other two, and then we'll work on removing the intake so we can get to the other three on that side. Alrighty guys, so the next thing that we're going to do is remove this upper intake manifold off. So obviously we have a bunch of things that need to come off, such as this, we need to disconnect that over there. We need to remove these bolts on the upper intake so it can flip over. We need to remove this air duct so we can actually get this to be free. And then we have access to our other 3 spark plugs. So let me get to that, and then I'll show you what it looks like after. First thing, we come to the passenger side and we're gonna remove this. So this is super easy to remove. There's a little tab here that you can just press down and pull, and it comes right off like that. Swing it off to the side and you're good to go. Then we are going to unbolt these two and use a pliers to remove this. And let me get to that, and then y'all will see what's coming up next. Alrighty, so after removing this here, we moved on to this side. So there was a bracket right here. I loosened the bottom one and removed this bolt completely. Bracket dropped, put the screw back in so we don't lose where it goes. Then we used our pliers to pull this hose clamp off, which goes right here, popped it off. Then we worked our way following down this line to this bolt right here. We removed this bolt to get some nice access to remove that line completely so it's out of our way. Then we pop this off here. We remove the 2 bolts, and that is free. Put some paper towel in there or some tape so nothing goes inside the intake, and we put our bolts back so we don't lose where it is. Next, we're going to remove our duct out of our way. We're going to unplug our throttle position sensor, and then we're going to work on removing our bolts around the upper intake so that way it can pop right off and we can get access to those plugs. What we're going to do is pop out this red tab right over here, and then we are going to pop this off. But there we go. He popped right off. So he's popped. Now if yours is, I don't know if it's broken or not, but there's a little press tab in here that I put my fingernail in and lifted it up. It's probably broken, I don't know. But it hooks on for me, so that's all that matters. Now we're gonna remove the duct right here, which is this hose clamp, and let me get that off. I have to take off the intake manifold. The manifold is with the intake. Granny? We taking off the intake manifold.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Okay. Seen it.
Alrighty guys, so we got all our bolts taken care of and lifted up and out. They are all unscrewed. They are all free to move how they need to be moved. And now all we have to do is just lift up our plenum and put it to the side. Let's get it. What do you think about the intake manifold?
Nothing wrong with it. It's good.
Okay, okay.
What is that? Dog shit on it?
Nah, that's not dog shit.
What is that?
That's just a burn mark.
That day.
Yeah. Hold on. Alrighty guys, so the intake is finally lifted up and out. It was super easy. Once you remove all these little bolts, they actually don't even come out, they stay in, but they lift up super free and easy. Well, okay, well this one comes out, so, but the rest of them are stuck in there. They just lift up like that. But anyway, once that is all removed and stuff, you just lift it up gently as you can. If anything is caught, just make sure you take your time and remove it. Put it off to the side where it won't fall, where it won't damage, because this is plastic, very easy to crack. So now we have exposed our other 3 spark plugs. So what you did on that side is what you're going to do on this side. So let's get to it. Alrighty guys, also on a quick side note, you want to put some paper towels or tape in any exposed access to the engine, because anything that falls in there can cause some serious damage. So make sure you put some paper towel or tape into any exposed access ports. Now here's the super easy and fun part. So all you have to do is reinstall everything that you uninstalled in order to get to these coils. So what you need to do is put your intake cover back on. Make sure that you remove the paper towels or tape, whatever you put over the access port so nothing goes into the motor. Then you slap your plenum back on, and now you got to tighten everything down. If you don't know your torque sequence for your vehicles, you can find them on Google. There is a specific order to put these in, so look it up for your year, make, and model. So let me get to this, and then I'll show you what to do next. Now that our intake is all torqued down, let's work on installing our air duct hose back onto our throttle body by tightening down this clamp. Let us work on plugging in our throttle body sensor right there. Let us work on routing back our hoses exactly where they belong. So let me get to that, and once it's done, I'll get right back to y'all. Guys, so we finally got everything hooked back up. Now the final step is to start our vehicle to make sure it's running properly. Now the reason why I replaced my spark plugs is because I did feel a slight misfire. Also, it has over 100,000 miles on it. It looks like it's never been replaced, and I doubt anyone decided to go through the trouble of removing the plenum to replace those. So I replaced mine. I know for a fact it's gonna run great, but let's get it started just so y'all can see. Alrighty guys, here is the moment of truth. Let us start it and let's see how it feels. Woof! It already feels super smooth. I don't feel the jumping like I did before. It actually feels pretty good. Look at the idle dropping. You want it roughly around 800 without the AC on. And it is definitely dropping to right there. So it feels so much better already. I am loving it. Woof. Alrighty guys, the last thing I'm gonna do is take it for a test drive, but I'm not gonna bring you all along with me because that's boring. So I hope you enjoyed this quick episode. Sorry I couldn't get the perfect shots for you guys to see step by step of me removing everything physically, but at least you got to see what needs to be removed and how to actually do it, which is super simple, super easy. Definitely something that you can do by yourself, save yourself some money. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like button for this video to boost me up into the algorithm. Let other people find this channel. Guys, I will see y'all for the next one. Laters.